Welcome to another edition of Cybersecurity Divas Leadership Moments with Lendrell Downs. Today's edition is brought to you by Fortify Experts, a cybersecurity search and consulting firm that helps companies build high-performing security and risk teams. Now here's Lynn.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lendrell Downs. I'm here with Mary Dunphy. I'm with Cybersecurity DIVAS, and Mary is actually with Advanced Security Consulting. She is a senior consultant now, and she used to be a CISO and also an architect in cybersecurity. Hi, Mary. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name is Mary Dunphy, as she said. I'm currently working on my doctorate in business administration, and the focus is on the gap in the demand for cybersecurity professionals versus the supply of cybersecurity professionals. I also write curriculum and teach at St. Mary's University. I teach the cybersecurity architecture course there. I have been working through from being a network engineer for 10 years and then moving into project management and then eventually landing in the security space, and that's where I think that I add the most value. So that's where I'm at.
Can you kind of tell me how this journey into, information technology, cybersecurity came about?
No matter what role I had, even when my children were little, even if it was like in an accounting function, I always seemed to end up into IT because I seem to have a knack for it. So I just decided at some point that I should probably just, maybe focus on that and do that.
How long have you been doing cybersecurity now?
That's a good question. I'm going to say more than 15 years.
During your career time here as a cybersecurity professional, did mentorship play a big part in where you are today?
Yes, absolutely. What happened is I ended up pursuing some education on my own online. And then I actually took some courses in person and met like a cohort group. And so it was kind of like, I don't want to use the word group thing, but between that particular peer group, we actually were challenging each other to do better. So it was great. It was actually a pretty good dynamic.
Have there been any women in cybersecurity that provided an influence on you? And who is it?
There's been a few people. I think they're even maybe members of your group, but some of the people are like Shar. I can't think of her last name. Isn't that terrible? It's been I'm a little sleep deprived because of the problem I've been working on since Thursday, so I apologize. But it's basically the women that I've met at the COSAC conference in Ireland. Shar Sample, there, I remembered her name. That's good. Lynette Hornan, and I know she's on, I think she's also a diva.
Yes, she is.
Helvey, and I don't know, is this actually U.S. based or is it also international?
Well, we're starting to go international, so we can do international.
That's good because I've got a couple of women that I would like to put forward at that. One of them is Rose. She actually takes women refugees and teaches them the CISSP information. She's an awesome person. So anyway, those are the ladies. I'm always interested in Shar is a researcher, so it's always interesting to know what Shar is doing.
Well, you can always email that to me, Mary.
I will. I took a note.
All right. So what has been your greatest challenge getting to the level you are today?
Well, the biggest challenge was and you work for Cisco, so you probably can relate to this, is that I was the only woman in the room for a long time. You have to be better. You really have to know your stuff, and you have to be able to find your voice and be able to be firm when you know you're right.
This being a male-dominant world, how did you actually maneuver through that?
You find an ally. This is going to sound tactical, but it was. You find an ally, you state your case, they kind of give you a test to see if you know what you're talking about. And then I don't mean like a written test. I'm just talking about, vet you like an interview kind of thing. And then you have a champion. So that was kind of how that worked. And then I was lucky enough to have a very high functioning, self-driven team. I've never found another one quite like that one since I left what used to be Amation like years ago. But that was kind of it. You find someone that you can harmonize with, and then pretty soon get some synergy between that person and you, and it will propel you forward. No one gets where they're going without help. You just can't do it all on your own.
So what would you consider one of the early career mistakes?
And it was long ago and far away. I'm sure I've made others since then. But the biggest one I think that I made was decided that I needed to chase money. And I left a position that was satisfying and allowed for growth. And I was valued to chase an opportunity that I thought was going to give my family more financial stability. And that was a huge mistake.
So chasing money is not the key. It's more of a
chasing money. No, that is not the key.
Yeah, because there is a lot of money to be made in cybersecurity, and I know a lot of being a recruiter. I find that a lot of people do that, and then me being me, I'm very honest. I say, "Are you sure this is what you want? Is this something you're passionate about?" So I'm not
Mhm.
wanting you to take a job for 6 months and then go somewhere else. And that's how I look at things. Well, I'm gonna take it off beat a little bit. So what is the best book you have ever read, or which book have you read lately?
The last one is This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends.
Okay, all
I
right.
love that. I mean, I don't love that what it says, but I love the book. So,
What is the last TV show you binge watched?
the Queen's Gambit.
That is a good one. So, what advice can you give a woman who want to pursue cybersecurity as their career path?
Okay, so I get this question a lot because I teach
Mhm.
security architecture, and I tell them, find yourself a mentor. And if you've got the opportunity within your like nonprofits and that kind of thing, volunteer. See what you can do to help out in that area to try and get a little bit of exposure and experience.
Mhm.
But you definitely need to have a mentor. You need somebody that can help you, that can guide you, somebody that's walked that path before and can tell you like where you might be taking a tributary.
What is your biggest concern about the current state of preventing cyber threats today?
The biggest concern is the rate in which technology is changing. And we're uncovering things all the time, but usually when something has gone awry, like what Microsoft just had it related to the SolarWinds thing, just, it's kind of a domino effect.
Right.
So you don't know what touches what anymore. There's not that separation anymore. It's kind of all together.
What do you think about AI with cybersecurity?
I'm in favor because I think we're going to need that in order to address the things that come in the future. It's not the be all it all answer. What it is we need to make sure that we train it in such a way that it actually helps us
Right.
identify, maybe look at behavior based, be able to respond. But that's all people that have to do that. But the rate and the amount of work that there is to do, it's almost physically impossible to do it in the way in which we've been doing it.
So, what are people or employers not doing enough of to keep these threats at bay?
I think that what it is, and especially in like small and medium businesses, they've got technology that they've had for a long time. They understand it. They know how it works. They're hesitant to make a change until they have to. And then they're forced to put in technology that they don't necessarily understand or know how to properly implement in a secure fashion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what do you think about cross training? Somebody that's maybe GRC start also learn some application development. So many different silos in cybersecurity. So, what do you think about the cross training in cybersecurity?
At a rudimentary level, everybody needs to understand how to code because that is the new literacy in the world, the brave new world that we're moving into. I think that if you understand coding and you can put that into your tool set, I think that you'll be far ahead. The other thing is to understand maybe you need a good architecture program. Maybe I like, maybe you should shut the thing off because it's not going to be, I don't want this to be an advertisement.
Okay.
But I use Sparks, SPARX.
Okay.
And it actually business security architecture overlay that covers everything. You can do modeling, you can do backwards and forwards traceability. It shows what touches what. It's actually very comprehensive, but it's daunting to learn. I mean, it's almost like a master's course to master that.
So, where do you see the biggest opportunity to improve cybersecurity?
I think it always comes down to awareness, whether it's inside or outside or, as business leaders. We spend a lot of money, and I was in a CTO position for a security company, and we spend a lot of money on security, and the answer from the board is always, well, what did we get for that? So I think that maybe we need to change how we report to the board. We need to have a different methodology in which we communicate our needs to the board.
10 years ago, you had a board of directors. Today,
Yep,
you have a
sure.
board of directors. Okay.
Yep.
And you had to report to them 10 years ago and now reporting to them today. Has it stayed the same or has it changed a little bit? What do you say about that?
I think that they're pretty static, unfortunately. They basically want to see the colored charts. And then if something jumps out, then they'll ask a question. But I don't believe that they're involved enough in giving guidance. And this is in my current project, and I'm not going to give names.
Right.
But the current board is very passive. Unless something goes wrong, then they jump in and they want to know what's happening. It's just like, you people you've been told about all this. So now you can't act surprised. I think there's still a gap in communication. I think there's still a gap in how we need to actually look at business, that security is actually a business requirement and a business enabler rather than a cost center.
Well, Mary, I really appreciate you taking this time today to interview with me and also to applaud you for being a cybersecurity diva. You are a driven, inspirational, visionary woman that's taking action in security. and I applaud you. So
Thank you.
do you have anything else you would like to say?
No, but I just want to thank you for thinking of me and inviting me along.
Oh, no, you deserve it. You really deserve it. Everybody be looking for Mary's interview on LinkedIn, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much.